In this video, I will show you how to use IconFonts within Unity and how to generate your own icon font with only the glyphs you actually use. This is useful for when you want to use flat icons like this. But you might want to give some color or other text effects that you can get through TextMesh Pro and other UI effects. And you can basically use it on a standalone like this, say an icon on a button, or you can insert it within text. So here where I use it standalone, I can directly put my icon font in there and then just enter the code for that icon. And I'll show you where the codes are coming from now. Just know that when you edit these, there will be a point where the code is not valid, and then TextMesh Pro will insert a child element here, which is, I think, just using the default font to write these characters. But once you are done entering your code, you can just go back there and delete that, because you are pointing to the icon font as the source for these glyphs. Using it in text that uses a different font, like here I'm using Liberation Sans, you can enter the code here, like that for example. And the reason this works is because in TextMesh Pro settings, there's a fallback option where I've inserted the icon font. If this wasn't here, you'll just see a little cube like that. So adding that basically tells it, look in here for glyphs you don't find in there. And since this is coming from a really high range outside of the ASCII code and Latin characters and so on, it will drop down to this and find the glyph in there. Now adding your own glyphs, new glyphs, is easy. First of all, you need to have some kind of source, and it needs to be a vector graphic. If you go to gameicons.net, for example, you could choose to, for example, download this icon. And I normally set the background to none. It defaults to black. I don't know if it's necessary to make it translucent, but I do it. And then you download the SVG, not the PNG. You just save that to the icons folder. I'll be including this example in the description below. But the only part you need from this really is this IconFontGen folder. The rest is just an example. And in this, you'll find the icons folder, and this is where you drop all your icons. And then you give your icon a unique code, like that. And that's the code it will get within the font that is being generated. And to generate the font, you just go up here and you just run bold.bat. And I can see the new icon is in there. You go back to Unity. The icon was the font was automatically copied into the project. And I'll show you now why that happened. But back in Unity, you go to TextMesh Pro Font Asset Creator. Make sure not to use this one. It generates a different asset. Put your icon in there. Your icon font. You could choose a custom size or auto sizing. I normally just use custom size. You need to specify a Unicode range. And in this range basically can be from 00 to 03, EA03, or whatever. Just make sure it includes these. But don't go and enter something like FFFF, because that's going to take a while to process. Just keep it to the range, a reasonable range, like for example that. And there's the new icon in there. And then you just save this, overwrite that old one I've already created. And then back in here, I can then make use of the new icon and insert any number of icons as well. Like that. Alright, so basically the setup is you need to install Node.js and then go into the wherever you extracted this and go into your IconFontGen folder, do this root here, and just run npm install that will make sure to install the dependencies, which is basically, if you look in this package file here, it is just gulp and gulp IconFont that's being installed and all the stuff they need. That bolt I've run is basically just npm run bolt, which is this. And then the other important thing to look into is the gulp file.js, this file over here. Here you will see where the fonts will end up. So this is one of them. This folder over here, it will be in there. But so that you don't have to copy and paste this into your project every time you generate a new icon font, you can just add another path here, which is basically into your wherever you want it in your project. So just update this to whatever it should be for your project, and then everything should be quite smooth. You can basically just download new icons in here, give them codes, run bolt, go back to Unity, regenerate the icon font atlas, and you can start using your icons. I'll have text descriptions and all the steps in the description below.